capitalist plan now. Look at it. What did I tell you was to make a profit by any means necessary. Right? Okay, how you make a profit here? Well, you build the prisons. Where are these prisons built? In New York City? In Brooklyn? Oh, where are the prisons built? Who lives there? Okay, then who's going to build these prisons, ladies and gentlemen? Who's going to provide the guards in these prisons, ladies and gentlemen? I rest my case.
All right.
Going to provide jobs, both construction, maintenance. Okay, that's where the job's going to be in prison. All right, now let's look at where the money goes. A sociologist named Troy Duster at the University of California, Berkeley, has been studying the drug business. Troy is a brother. He's a sociologist. And what he noticed is that there are layers, just like in any other hierarchy, right? There's guys at the top, guys at the bottom. Okay, as you come, the top, the international cartel that runs the drug business, it's on top. Those are the international owners of the drug business. And then underneath them is a layer of international distributors. These are the people that distribute drugs all over the world. Then underneath them is a loose network of international bankers. They launder the money so that it can be distributed into legitimate business. And it is this money that's fueling the economy now.
That's it. There you go.
So if you're looking forward to drugs disappearing, you are really naive.
That's right.
Black people just don't get it.
That's right.
In her powerful lecture, Black People Still Don't Get It, Dr. Barbara Sizemore delivers a searing critique of the American justice system and its exploitation of Black men for profit. She argues that the prison industrial complex functions as a modern form of slavery, where Black men are funneled into the penal system and used as free labor. She exposes how the drug trade, often blamed on poor Black men, is actually controlled by wealthy white individuals who remain untouched by the law. While Black men are criminalized and incarcerated, the true profiteers of the drug industry continue to accumulate wealth without consequence. Sizemore highlights the systematic injustice as a deliberate mechanism designed to weaken Black communities while enriching the ruling class. Beyond the justice system, Dr. Sizemore critiques Black people for failing to control the economic activity within their own communities. She calls attention to the presence of non-Black business owners who profit from selling goods in Black neighborhoods, while Black entrepreneurs remain marginalized. She argues that Black people must take ownership of their economic destiny by building and supporting their own businesses. According to Sizemore, true empowerment comes from self-sufficiency and the ability to dictate what is sold, consumed, and valued within Black communities. She urges Black people to reject the destructive patterns that have become normalized and to reimagine a culture rooted in self-determination rather than dependency.
They just don't get it.
That's right.
The bottom of the industry, the street industry, is run by poor Black and Latino people, or anybody else that's poor want to get in it. Now these are the people selling on the street, so they get caught and they get put in jail. Now, the part of the drug business that's used by the middle class elite gives you less time in jail than that sold to the poor. So as you come down the line from the international cartel, you get blacker and blacker and blacker, okay? And the punishment starts with the street level.
All right.
No bankers go to jail.
That's right.
No bankers go to jail.
That's right.
The regional representatives in the country, they don't go to jail.
Right.
The couriers go to jail. The street distributors go to jail.
That's right.
The managers of the distribution in the poor communities go to jail.
That's right.
Because it's easier to put them in jail. Because they have no group that helps them to survive.
That's right.
So these people come from the dysfunctional groups in the society.
All right.
These are the groups whose culture doesn't save them.
All right. All right.
Because the people haven't had enough sense to save their culture.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Black people just don't get it.
All right.
We just don't get it. We just don't get it.
All right.
Other groups come in this country, they get it right away.
All right.
And we get mad at them because they get it.
All right. That's it.
I've been away from Chicago for 20 years. I came back 2 years ago. I walked down, I couldn't believe what I was seeing on 47th Street. The stores are all owned by Arabs and Koreans. These were stores that used to be owned by black people. Now none of them are. They work from dawn to sunset. They're in these stores all day long, selling us what we need. They have their families working in there. They don't hire nobody. Black people out there picketing, talking about they don't hire no black people. Ain't nobody in there. Everybody's related. They're all family. I said, how you gonna get a job in there? You're not Korean, fool.
That's right. That's right.
You got to be in their family to work there.
That's right.
When the Nation of Islam began buying up 79th Street in Chicago in the 1960s, I thought we finally had gotten it.
All right.
But this effort was lost in the usual ego struggles of African American men.
All right.
Ego struggles have spoiled more freedom efforts in my lifetime than I would care to stand up here and talk to you about.
Thank you very much. All right.
In fact, I have been involved in so many that now I just refuse to join another movement.
That's right.
We must learn to work together as a group. Alton talked to us about that tonight. I won't repeat it because he talked to us about that. We must learn to do this, ladies and gentlemen, because everybody does it if they get out of poverty in this country. They work together as a group. They work together as a group. If we are to survive and be autonomous in the United States, we must change our way of looking at living. Our culture is no longer functional because we've lost so much of the culture that used to save us. Our children are killing each other and us because we are not paying attention to what is happening to them.
All right.
Alton made reference to the prisons. That's the second part of the gross national product. In every state, they are building these prisons to put our people in order to get us out of the labor market and then to exploit us for providing jobs for them. Either way you look at it, going into the drug industry to try to be a businessman at the lower end where you get killed, or going to prison, we're still, once again, exploited, enslaved, used for others to become wealthy so they can be rich. We spend a lot of time being resentful of Koreans and Hispanic people and Arabs who are trying to use this system the way that we should be using it. Now, why don't we do this? Let's look at that for a minute.
All right.
You remember when I told you about we tell our kids all the time in school, take a turn, but in the real world you don't take a turn? Okay. We also teach our kids that there's something wrong with being separate. As soon as we get a little money, we want to be as close to white people as we can get.
All right.
We want to live in their neighborhoods. We want to go to their schools. We want to marry them. We just got the problem.
All right.
We just have the problem. We don't like us. All right? We don't like us. That's a big problem, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big problem. As soon as we get a little bit of money, we want to run away from us. Now, what do other groups do? They run together. And the first stage of that inclusion model is called separatism. And they come together because they have a common culture that saves them from these obstacles. Right? Okay. We need to think about being separate. We need to stop being afraid of nationalism, because we're afraid of it.
All right. All right.
We're afraid of it.
Talk to her.
And And our enemies want us to stay afraid.
That's it. All right.
Because next to God, nationalism is the most powerful organizing force that man knows.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
The most powerful is God. And if you don't believe me, look at the fundamentalist right, how they are driving abortion out of this country.
All right.
Without changing the law.
That's right.
How are they doing it? Killing doctors.
All right.
Shooting them.
All right.
See, that's what a powerful dynamic will do for you. If we had a powerful God dynamic, our kids wouldn't be killing each other. They might be killing somebody else, but it wouldn't be each other.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
But we don't have that. We don't have a powerful God dynamic. We used to, but we don't more. Next to that is nationalism. That's the next most powerful dynamic you have for organizing people.
All right.
Now, at one time, we had a motto, and that was the Nation of Islam. And they were using it to death, but ego killed it. In her paper, Whiteness as Property, Harvard Law Review, June 1993, Cheryl I. Harris argues that whiteness is built on both exclusion and racial subjugation. And this is how she says it's used. Race has not only been constructed as race, but also as a privilege. That's why we got this hair problem. Today in the United States, race is determined by visibility and reputation, because there are over 1 million African Americans passing for white every day. And if you make friends with some of them, they will give you some powerful bits of information about the other folks that help you. And remember what Alton told you, information is power, right? I seek them out at any institution I go to. I try to see if I can find out who's passing. Now, you can't tell on them now. That ain't the point. I want the information. Tell me what these doctors do in this hospital when they come in here. Tell me how they treat us when we come in here, because I want to know before I bring my mama over here. And they'll tell you. That's if you don't turn them in. All right? Okay. Harris argues that the decision to pass as white was not a choice, if by that word one means voluntariness or lack of compulsion. She says that the fact of race subordination was coercive and circumscribed the liberty to self-define. In other words, because you are black, your ability to define yourself is limited in this. And passing for white frees you of that limitation. So she says if that is true and you want to define who you are, then it might not be voluntary. Now, my interaction with some of these people is that they passing for white in order to what? Survive and have self-autonomy. Okay? Now let's look at the real world that makes you want to do that. And then let's think about those of us who can't if we wanted to. I mean, you think I'd get away with it? I'd go out and say, I'm passing for white. I don't think so. Self-determination of identity is not a right for us. It's not a right for us. But it's a privilege for white people. Right? So the effect of protecting whiteness at law was to devalue those who were not white by coercing them to deny their identity. So I straightened my hair, I whitened my skin, I cut off my nose, I fixed my lips, I cover up my heels and wear a girdle on my butt so I can look what? White. Because that's the identity that I want. Now this is the crux of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, for our children. And we have chosen, and I say chosen because we didn't have to do this, we have chosen to destroy the main weapon for survival, which is our identity.
Dr. Sizemore also addresses the issue of internalized self-hatred among Black people, which she sees as a major obstacle to unity. She observes that when Black individuals attain wealth or status, they often distance themselves from the Black masses in an attempt to integrate into white society. The rejection of one's own people, she argues, is a reflection of deep-seated feelings of inferiority. Rather than seeking validation from white institutions, Sizemore advocates for Black nationalism as a solution. She envisions Black nationalism as a means to organize, structure, and uplift Black communities by fostering a collective identity and purpose. A key point in Sizemore's lecture is her criticism of the individualistic mindset that has eroded Black unity. She warns that many Black people prioritize personal success over the well-being of the collective, leading to fractured families and dysfunctional communities. This rugged individualism, she argues, is counterproductive because it weakens the communal bonds necessary for progress. Instead of fostering competition and separation, she believes Black people must work together to address systematic issues and build strong, self-sufficient communities. Ultimately, Dr. Sizemore's lecture serves as a call to action for Black people to take responsibility for their own liberation. She challenges Black America to recognize the ways in which they have been manipulated and exploited and to make a conscious effort to reclaim their economic, cultural, and social power. Until Black people commit to fixing their internal problems and building a united front, she warns they will remain at the bottom of the social and economic hierarchy. Her message is one of tough love, urging Black people to wake up, unite, and take control of their own destiny.